All right, cool. Welcome to the Rants and Bodies Pro Physique Masterclass. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be diving in and really going over the foundations and go over the principles that you need to take your body to the next level. Take your body to the point where you look in the mirror and you absolutely love what you see. And so for a lot of you guys, you've been working out for a long time. This isn't your first rodeo. You've been in the gym for multiple years. Maybe you've been on multiple diets. Maybe you've tried a lot of different workout plans. And so my goal today is this isn't a cookie cutter approach where it's one size fits all. That's not how I run things. That's not how we run things. Your body responds differently than everyone else's body. It responds differently than my body. It responds differently than Coach Mike's body. It responds differently than the guy next to you's body. And so my job today is to help you identify what's going to be the best approach in order for you to maximize your body in the time you're spending in the gym. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Trent Harrison. I'm the founder of Rants and Bodies Training. I spent 8 years going to medical school and working in orthopedic surgery before becoming a full-time online coach. So in the last 4 years, I've worked with over 1,000 men, from CEOs to high-level business guys to professional athletes, to help them burn fat and build muscle. I'm also a pro bodybuilder, and I won my WNBF pro card last year as a natural competitor. And so the reason you're here today is either you spend a ton of time thinking about what you should be doing in the gym and food you should be eating. Maybe you're a super busy dude. You work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and you just can't afford to be wasting your time in the gym or in the kitchen. Like, you're spending 10 plus hours a week in the gym and you're just not getting the results you want either at all or at a quick enough rate. Maybe you tried this on your own for a super long time and you're just not seeing the results you want or getting the results fast enough, or you tried and you're guessing and you've tried multiple diets and they're just not working to get you to the point where you want to be. Now you're at a point where you've been working out a long time, maybe multiple years. Maybe you've been dieting for multiple years and you're finally at a breaking point. You're ready to unlock the best version of yourself. And so I want you to imagine for a second what it would feel like to be 100% confident with what you see in the mirror. To look in the mirror and be like, that is the best version of myself that I've ever seen. That's the best version of Ronald I've ever seen. That's the best version of Matthew that I've ever seen. That's the best version of CJ that I've ever seen. Maybe you've experienced that before in the past and it's time for you to experience it again, or maybe you've never experienced it at all. And so I want you to think about how getting into the best shape is not only going to impact your body and the way you see yourself, but also your career, also your relationships, also your wealth, everything. Like, when you transform your body and you prioritize yourself, it changes everything that you're doing in your life. All right. And so I want everyone to write this in the comments below. Again, you're not a spectator here, you're a participator. Write this in the comments for me. The story you are telling yourself. Okay. I'm going to be real for a second. You guys have all the information in the world. You have all the information in the world. We live in a day and age where information is not the issue anymore. You could figure out how many calories you need to eat. You could figure out good macro-friendly meals you need to eat for your body. You could figure out a decent workout plan that might work for you on the internet and just Google it or go through Instagram. But why are you not following it? There's no point to have information if there's no implementation. And so if you're not in the best shape of your life, if you look in the mirror and you don't love what you see, if you look in the mirror and you know you could do more, you don't have an information problem, you have an implementation problem. I want everyone that's on the call to write this in the comments below. The story you are telling yourself, number one. The second thing I want you to write in the comments below is implementation. Implementation. Okay? You could figure out your macros, you could figure out your calories, you can get a good baseline. You have an implementation problem. This was Pat's problem here. So Pat is 41. He was able to lose over 30 pounds in the last 6 months. Why? Not because he got different information, but because he was actually able to implement and break the story he was telling himself. Maybe for you, that story that you're telling yourself, because your brain is the biggest mountain that you need to overcome, like a lot of us know. Maybe it's a story you're telling yourself that you have a sweet tooth. The story you're telling yourself that you're lazy. The story you're telling yourself that you need a cheat meal once a week, or you need to eat certain foods. Maybe you have this ideology and the story you're telling yourself that you're bad at cooking. Or maybe it's that you have a slow metabolism or that you're too old. You need to identify the story that you're telling yourself. For me personally, when I was just getting started in my journey, the story I told myself was that I had a sweet tooth. I was like, oh, I got a sweet tooth. So I have to eat ice cream. I have to eat candy. I have to eat these things. But what happened was that me telling myself I had a sweet tooth over and over again just reinforced the idea and gave myself that excuse that there's no way I'm going to break free of that. And so, yes, I love sweets and I am inclined to eat sweets 100% still to this day. That has not gone away. But what's changed for me is not that my sweet tooth magically disappeared, but what's changed for me is that my cravings for my body and the results are greater than my cravings for sugar, that are greater than my cravings for ice cream, right? So it's not like, oh, I crave sleeping in. Cool. You're not a morning person. Maybe that's a story you're telling yourself, and that's why you're not able to do the things on a regular basis. You have to crave the results more than you crave the sweets, more than you crave the sugar, more than you crave sleeping in, more than you crave the snooze button. So you need to become the man that you want to see in the mirror, like Pat was able to do here. And so the difference between a pro physique versus your physique, and all pro physique means is when you look in the mirror and you love what you see, the best version of yourself. That's what I believe a pro physique is. The standard has been raised. The stakes are higher. There is actually risk involved.
Yeah.
So for me, when I step on stage, guys, I have a deadline. I have to be in a certain shape at a certain time, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I have to be at that shape, right? So if I'm 6 weeks out, I have 6 weeks to get into the best shape of my life. So what is the risk involved for you? Do you have accountability? Do you have like a deadline? Is there consequences to you not changing your life, not changing the standard? And so a lot of the times that happens is when you get to a point where you feel stuck or at a plateau, say me in the comments below if you've ever been in a plateau in your fitness journey. Say me in the comments below if you've ever been in a plateau before. Yeah, it can be frustrating. I've been in many plateaus in my life. So here's what I want you to start doing if you ever hit a plateau. If you ever hit a plateau, odds are, most of the time, it's not that you need to do something different. It's not that you need to change up your workout plan, or you need to change up your diet, or try keto, or try fasting, or try all these different things that you haven't been doing in a long time. You need to start doing better and start doing more versus doing different. And so what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you hit a weight loss plateau and you realize my weight's not moving. You need to meal prep better and you need to meal prep more. You need to track your food better and you need to track your food more. You need to do your cardio better and you need to do your cardio more. So a lot of the times what happens is we panic and we get super emotional about not seeing results or changes. And so we change up our entire routine. You don't need to change your routine. You need to optimize what you're already doing. A lot of you guys are on the right path, but you're not optimizing what you're already doing. You're going into the gym, you're doing your workouts, but you're not tracking your numbers. You have no idea how much you're progressing in your lifts. You have no idea what you're eating on a daily basis in terms of macros and calories, etc. And so that's why it's important to break your limiting beliefs and get rid of your scarcity and weak mindset, because it's the mindset. You are your biggest obstacle. Write this in the comments for me. I am my biggest obstacle. Man, if some of you guys got this, I am my biggest obstacle. I'm the only thing holding me back from accomplishing the body of my dreams. Not my job, not my wife, not my kids, not my boss, not my friends, not my genetics, not my sweet tooth, not me being lazy, not the snooze button. It's me. Because the power is in this. When I take responsibility, and all of you guys here are leaders in some capacity in your life. As the leaders, it's your job to take ownership, extreme ownership over the outcomes you have in your life. So if you don't take extreme ownership over the outcome of your body, nothing's ever going to change. You'll be like, I am the problem. I'm the reason why I'm not getting the results I want. If I step on stage and I don't place well, like the way I would like to, it's not the judge's fault that I didn't get what the place I wanted to. It's mine. It's on me. Because when it's on me, I'm the only one who could change it. And so what I want you guys to understand, you need to understand this chart right here. Burn this in your brains. This is your TDEE chart. I'm giving you guys all my gems right now. This is how your body burns fat. Straight up. The total daily energy expenditures chart. There's a lot of different ways to go about this. In my opinion, this is the best and simplest way. So BMR, which is this big blue block right here, this is your basal metabolic rate, which is just your metabolism. So your metabolism accounts for 70% of the calories burned in your body throughout a 24-hour time frame. This right here, which is called NEAT, accounts for 15% of your total calories burned. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which pretty much just is a fancy word to say the calories you burn when you're not working out. So, for example, when I'm talking to you guys right now, when I go and brush my teeth, when I go and do the dishes, when I go and change a diaper, like all of those different things come into your NEAT. TEF, which is thermic effect of feeding, is your body's ability to metabolize and digest food. So when you eat, your body has to do work, burn calories in order to digest food, which counts for 10%. And here's where I really want you guys to pay attention to this one right here. EAT, the top one right here. Exercise activity thermogenesis. This is the amount of calories your body burns when you work out. Let that sink for a second. The amount of calories your body burns when you work out is the smallest portion of this entire chart. I burn more calories, you burn more calories driving your car to work than you do going to the gym, doing cardio and lifting weights and sweating and working hard. That's the truth. So like what we do at Ransom Bodies is not only are we going to optimize this 5 to 10%, but what are you doing with the rest of this? And a lot of your guys' problems, and the reason you don't have a pro physique for yourself, which is just the best version of yourself possible, is because all you focus on is the 5 to 10% of the calories you burn when you work out. The 5 to 10%. So you can go to the gym, you could do all the cardio you want, you could lift all the weights you want. And of course, that's going to be important because it does account for a good amount of this. However, if you're not optimizing the other 90% of what your body does when you're burning calories, man, you're going to see results real slow, no matter how hard you work. Your metabolism, your non-exercise activity, and your thermic effect of feeding. So what I want to do right now is I want to break down how you can optimize these 3 things besides exercise in order to see the best results. All right, so I want to do a quick check-in. If you guys are getting value so far, drop me a fire emoji in the comments below. All right, and a bonus, what I want you guys to do is, if you're getting value too, I want you to take a screenshot of this or take a picture of this, tag me on your Instagram story at Trizzleman Fitness, and then I'll repost you to my page. So if you're getting any value, take a screenshot of this or take a video of this and share it to your Instagram story and tag me at Trizzleman Fitness and just write learning from the best. All right, because I appreciate you guys. Cool. Joey's getting value. Mike's getting value. Matt's getting value. Mike's getting value. Ronald's getting value. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Cool. All right. This was the exact thing that took Cody Morgan from where he was at here, overweight, out of shape, no energy, hormones out of place, at 40 years old, doing multiple diets, trying keto, fasting, all these different workouts, doing hours of cardio. Once we optimized his TDEE, his total daily energy expenditures, he lost over 55 pounds in a span of a year, and now he's over 100 pounds by optimizing this one thing. Even though he was 40 years old, he thought he was too old. He thought he didn't have good genetics. He lived in Texas, so he loves like really good, carb-heavy foods, barbecue. Guy lives in Texas. He thought all these things were the reason why he wasn't getting results. The reason he wasn't getting results because he wasn't not optimizing his total daily energy expenditures. It's these little things, the details that make the big difference and change the game. And so understanding your TDEE chart. The TDEE is the total amount of calories your body burns within 24 hours. I want you to think about this. This is the same concept that took my body from average to a pro physique. It was understanding this. Understanding that when I go to the gym, even if I work out 7 days a week, that's only 1 hour of the 24 hours of the day, which accounts for about 10% of the calories I burn. And so once you have your TDE numbers, and you guys can Google this, there's easy ways to do this. That's probably the easiest way to do it. What we do is we really optimize your calories and macros to fit your TDEE, make those adjustments so your body doesn't hit plateaus. But a good starting point is just to Google it and figure it out from there. but you want to adjust your calorie intake according to your total daily energy expenditures, how much calories your body burns at rest. And so your metabolism, which accounts for roughly 70% of your TDEE, depends on factors like your age, ethnicity, body composition, a lot of different things that we take into account. But here's why it's so important to build muscle. When you build muscle, even I don't care if you have over 100 pounds to lose. When you build muscle, when you optimize your sleep, when you optimize your hormones, when you optimize your stress, all those things impact your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. So one of the questions we ask our athletes all the time, me and Coach Mike, is we're like, hey, how was your stress levels? How was your sleep? How are you feeling? How is your energy? We ask all of these questions, and the reason we do that is because we're curious about this. BMR, basal metabolic rate. And if you've worked with us, you know like how important these questions are. Because if you're super stressed out all the time, if you're not sleeping good, even though you're eating in a calorie deficit and you're burning calories and you're working out and you're lifting weights, it's going to be hard to burn fat because you're not optimizing 70% of your body's ability to burn calories. The next one, which I think a lot of people neglect, another reason why it's so important to build muscle and focus on this, is thermic effect of food. This is one of the most underrated aspects of burning fat. This is the energy required from your body to digest, absorb, and metabolize food. And here's the interesting part of this. Protein impacts this more than any other food item. Everyone write TEF in the comments below. TEF. Okay? So here's like a big mental block a lot of people struggle with. And maybe you struggle with this too. You don't want to eat a lot of protein because you're afraid it's going to prevent your body's ability to burn fat, right? Am I right? I know you guys have felt that way before. I felt that way too. You eat like high protein meals and you're like, oh, I'm a little bloated. I'm fuller than I normally am. I don't want to eat this much protein because I want to lose weight. Like that's my goal. However, what you don't understand is that obviously protein is very dense food, right? It takes your body a lot of energy and a lot of work to burn off protein. So when you eat protein, let's say you ate 100 calories of protein versus 100 calories of carbs, it takes your body more energy and more fat to burn off and digest those 100 calories of protein compared to the 100 calories of carbs. All right. And so the more protein you eat, the more calories you burn and the more fat you burn and the more muscle you build. It's crazy. So instead of going to the gym and doing only cardio, your focus when you're in the gym and your number one focus should be building muscle, because as you build more muscle, you burn more fat. I'll give you an example of my body. I weigh 190 pounds. 190 pound version of me with mostly muscle and very low body fat, single digit body fat, versus 190 pound version of dude on the right, person B. If he has a lot less muscle than me, when we're just chilling here, sitting in the chair, I'm burning more calories at rest compared to the other dude because I just have more muscle mass, which means I could eat more food than he can. So that's why I'm able to eat a lot more than the other guy can, because I have more muscle. Does that make sense? So physical activity is only the EAT, which is about 5%, guys. 5% of the amount of calories your body burns on a daily basis. And then we have non-exercise activity thermogenesis. You guys hear 10,000 steps, 10,000 steps, 10,000 steps over and over again. That's what this is right here, which accounts for 15%. So think about this for a second. 5% when you're in the gym lifting weights, 15% when you're outside of the gym doing the dishes, talking on a Zoom call, walking the dog, etc. So that's why it's so important to optimize these other areas. And so what activity level are you? So I want you to do a self-audit and be like, how active am I? If you're not tracking your daily steps you have on a daily basis, right, you need to change that now. And so highly active, a lot of people think they're super active, but high activity is this: working out 6 to 7 days per week. Moderate active is 3 to 5 days a week, which most of you guys fall into this category right here. And then obviously intense activity is going to be about 7 days per week. All right, the art of flexible dieting. Okay, hope you guys are taking notes. The art of flexible dieting. So the approach I believe works the best for busy man like you is flexible dieting, because following a strict diet is just not going to work for you long term. What you need to do is find 5 to 10 macro-friendly meals that you absolutely love and stick to those about 90% of the time. Stop going for meal variety. I don't believe in meal variety. Why? Because the more decisions you have to make around food, the harder it just gets. And so instead of changing your meals up every single meal, why don't you just pick amazing meals you absolutely love? Burgers, tacos, burritos, eggs, like the meals you love that you don't feel like you go on a diet for, and stick to those on a regular and consistent basis. This makes tracking your food an absolute breeze. So maybe one of your roadblocks is food tracking. Say me in the comments below if you struggle tracking your food. You know you should track your food, but you struggle with it. All right, drop me in the comments below if that's you. So by removing meal variety, you're going to be able to track your food like so much easier, because now I eat the same thing every single day. Also, if tracking your food is an issue for you, bonus tip, I would rather you, and this is what I do with all of my athletes, if you work out 5 days a week and you track your food, cut the 5th day off, work out 4 days a week, and spend the 5th day tracking. If you work out 4 days a week and you struggle tracking your food or meal prepping, you struggle with your nutrition, cut out the 4th day of a workout and spend that extra hour with your nutrition, meal prepping, going to the grocery store, tracking your food. That's how important this is. If you work out 3 days a week and you struggle with your eating, you struggle with meal prepping, tracking your food, getting to the grocery store, you don't have time, cut out the 3rd day and spend that hour with your nutrition. That's how important this is. But it's easier to go to the gym and work out than it is to do the boring stuff of tracking your food. But it's the boring stuff that gets you the results. It's the boring stuff that helps you look like this, right? Tracking your food, being meticulous with it. And so 80% of people who lose a significant amount of weight end up gaining it back. So if you don't want to be like the 80% of people who lose over 20 pounds and gain it back, you have to figure out a diet that's going to work for you long term. If you can't follow a diet for over 5 years, don't even start it at all. So instead of doing keto and fasting and Whole30 and paleo and all these diets to lose weight to then go back to your old ways later on down the road, it's just a waste of time. Instead, change your habits and the way you're eating off the bat. That way you never have to change your diet at all. So flexible dieting is what helped Corey go from this to this and really transform his body while running a full-time car dealership. Mastering flexible dieting is what helped Nathan go from this to this and lose over 45 pounds while having 3 kids and running a full-time business. And so if you are super busy like these guys here, you're going to have to learn flexible dieting, because that's going to be the easiest way for you to not only lose the body fat and build muscle, but keep the weight off long-term. So the best workouts you need to do for fat loss really come down to lifting 3 to 5 times a week. I don't believe you need to work out 6 or 7 days a week. I would rather you spend those extra days with your nutrition, making sure you actually have a structured workout routine. You're prioritizing strength training and you're doing cardio secondarily, but don't just go into the gym and do cardio. Please, 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 please don't go to the gym and only do cardio. So whether you're bulking or cutting, your focus should always be getting stronger when you're inside the gym. Always, 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 always getting stronger. So even when my goal is fat loss and I need to lose 20 to 30 pounds for one of my next shows, I'm still lifting the same way I did when I was bulking, because I'm always trying to optimize the other areas of fat loss, which is my TDEE. So what I want you to do, information without implementation is dead. Okay. No more of this. I'm learning something. I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm watching Instagram videos. I got all the information, but I'm not doing anything with it. You showed up here because you're ready to take things to the next level. You're ready to raise the bar. And so you need to implement. You need to take the information you learned today and implement. Take messy action. Implement today. You have to understand that getting the body of your dreams is probably going to take longer than you think. You need to understand that you can't put things off until tomorrow. You need to start today. So if you've been struggling with meal prepping, this is your sign. Start right now. Go meal prep. Go to the grocery store, order the groceries to your house, meal prep, get it done. Today's the only day you ever have. And so you have to be able to raise that standard and change the story you're telling yourself. So instead of me telling the story to myself that I have a sweet tooth, that I'm lazy, that I struggle hitting the snooze button, I tell myself that I'm an unconditional man. That's the new story I'm telling myself. So when I feel like eating sugar, when I feel like eating ice cream, when I don't feel like tracking my food because it's boring, I tell myself I'm an unconditional man. I'm not a conditional man. And I do what I say I'm going to do. And I rely on discipline, not motivation. And when you start to think that way, that's when you start to see your body transform, because it starts here and it comes out with your actions and what you're doing. All right. So I hope you guys got some value from today. If you did, I would love for you to let me know. What I want you to do now is I'm going to open up for some questions. So drop your questions in the comments below. And then if you're watching this also on the YouTube video, make sure you drop your questions in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer it. So I'll see you guys on the next one. So, all right, guys, if you are here right now, we are here to serve. So I want to know who has a question. So do not be shy. One of the concepts I follow and I believe in is closed mouths don't get fed. So if you don't ask a question, it's not going to get answered. Drop your questions and unmute yourself. I would love to answer and serve if you guys want me to clarify anything, if you have any questions for yourself, or drop them in the comment section below.
Trent, I have a question for you.
Hey, what's up,
What's
John?
the best way that you meal? What's going on, man? I wanted to know what's the best way that you meal prep. So, like you said earlier, you pick your 5 to 10 meals, and then do you prepare them all in one day for the entire week? Do you, what do you do?
I love that. So there's a couple different ways to meal prep. What I like to do, John, is my meal prepping now really comes down to meal prepping certain items. So I will bulk cook rice, I will bulk cook chicken, I will bulk cook vegetables, and then I could interchange them and swap them out depending on how I'm feeling. So personally, I just cook big items, protein items, carb items, veggie items, and then depending on how I'm feeling, I'll use different sauces, etc. And so that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to meal prep for a couple of days at a time. Honestly, John, like I don't really recommend meal prepping for 7 days, because what I've found, or for a whole week, what I found is that when you cook things out like at the 6th or 7th day, the food kind of gets nasty, you know? And so
Yeah.
typically what I like to do is if I'm meal prepping for a certain amount of days, I'll meal prep for 3 days at a time. And then so meal prep twice throughout the week. So let's say you did it on Sunday and then you did it on Wednesday. That's a good way to do it.
Okay, cool deal. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Who's next?
Hey, Trent, I got a question. What is a good way to actually stay active? For example, myself, I have a rotating type of schedule,
Yep.
and it's kind of like up and down all the time. It's never consistent. It's not like a 9 to 5. It could be early mornings, mids, late.
Uh-huh.
How would a person be able to stay active? Should they work out? Like, for example, I'm off on a Sunday and a Monday. Should they use like their off days to work out?
Mm-hmm.
How could you like do that?
Yep. So what I would do is absolutely optimize your off days to work out. So that's 2 days of the week. And then let's say you started off with 4 days, you're working out 4 days a week. And then I would choose 2 days that are going to be your easiest and most likely to get into the gym and make those your non-negotiable. So obviously for you, it's going to come down to scheduling, right? And sitting down, since your schedule changes every week, and be like, these are the 2 days that I could get done throughout the week. I think the biggest thing for you as well is front loading your week. So what I like to do is for my cardio, for example, I'll do the bulk of my cardio at the beginning of the week, just in case something happens towards the end of the week, because I'm sure something you've noticed is you fall behind throughout the week. Work gets crazy, family life gets crazy, and now you're like, man, I haven't even worked out all week and it's already Wednesday. So setting yourself up for success looks like making it a non-negotiable where at the beginning of the week, I'm going to do whatever it takes to either get into the gym or get my meals prepped. Because if you fall behind throughout the week, you're done, right? You get to Wednesday, you get to Thursday, and you're still off track, like it's game over and you're just going to wait till next week. And so what I would say is 2 days on your non-workout days, or on your non-work days, and then 2 days on work days that are easiest for you. So maybe if you work later in the day, that way you schedule them out just like any other appointment to make it happen.
Thank you.
And then let's say you're adding in steps. And so what we like to do is do step averages. So some days, like you might not be able to get 10,000 steps in per day, which is fine, but you want to shoot for your steps in terms of the entire week. So like what we like to do is, let's say our clients are doing 10,000 steps a day. We're like, hey, just do 70,000 for the week. One day you might hit 12,000. Next day you might hit 15,000. And the next day you might hit 6,000. That's totally fine. But making sure you get 70,000 throughout the week is super important. Good question. Is that helpful?
I have another question for you, Trent.
Yeah.
We all know sleep is, vital to, having us being successful. Would you recommend, even if it requires losing sleep, meaning getting 4 or 5 hours that day to get up and go to the gym, should I do that over getting those 7 hours of sleep?
How many days a week would that happen?
Maybe 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you work nights, right? From what I remember.
Not anymore. I'm a GM for a restaurant called Jersey Mike's, and I'm pretty much all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So some days I work just like the other dude. Sometimes I work mornings, evenings, nights. But I'm thinking to myself, if I just make myself get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and make that my everyday, and if that requires me to get 5 or 4 hours of sleep 2 or 3 nights a week, is that worth prioritizing?
Yeah, as long as your average sleep is over 6 hours, I think that's totally fine. There's definitely days where my sleep is a little lower. Obviously, you want to try to get to bed as early as possible is really important. But if there are days you got to squeeze it in and make it happen, yeah, I would 100% recommend doing that. That's what you got to do.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to answer a couple more. I know some of you guys have questions. Guys, if you got value from today's training and you want to learn more about how it can help you specifically more one-to-one, then what I'm doing is I'm giving you guys a special offer today. If you want to work closely one-on-one with me to optimize your physique, I'm going to give you guys 25% off of any of the services we offer. And so what Coach Mike's going to do right now is he's going to drop an application link in the chat box below. And this is only for you guys who showed up live on the call here. And so make sure you guys just fill out the application. It's like a couple of questions. And then what I'll do is I'll reach out directly to you today to give you more info. So make sure you guys fill that out. And then I also want to answer some more questions. So who else has questions?
I have a question, Trent. It's DeMario.
Hey, what's going on, DeMario?
Not much. I wanted to know what would be the best way to track macros.
The best way is, number one, download an app called MyFitnessPal is probably the easiest way to do it. And then the second thing that you're going to do is you're going to make it super simple, right? I think when it comes to tracking your macros, you want to treat your nutrition like you do your finances. So with your finances, you don't just wing it and hope that you make ends meet at the end of the month. You sit down and you actually figure out, okay, how can I optimize my budget? What can I do to cut back expenses? What can I do to make more money, etc.? It's the same thing with your body. Treat your body like a business. And so like businesses, they do not just wing their numbers. They actually know exactly what their numbers are. And this is one of the biggest differences between kind of staying stuck and not staying stuck. So what I like to do, like when I'm teaching someone how to track macros, is first, keep it super simple. Second, I commit every single day to tracking messy. Because a lot of the times we're like, oh, if I can't track perfectly, I'm not going to track at all. And so the easiest way, DeMario, is number one, keep your meal simple. Let's say you eat eggs for breakfast. I go in and I pre-track what I'm going to eat for the day. So for today, DeMario, my food is already tracked. I already know what I'm going to eat. I don't eat based off of how I feel. I track based off of what I'm going to eat. And so you sit down, you pull up MyFitnessPal, you plug in the numbers, you get your food scale, you put it on the scale, you zero it out, and then you keep your meal super simple. And then you eat the same thing when you're first getting started off tracking. pretty much every single day. Let's say Monday to Friday, you eat the same thing to make it easy on yourself. And then once you start getting the hang of it, now you could start making those adjustments.
Okay.
I have a video on my YouTube as well that I just released like a week ago on this. I think it would be super helpful for you to watch on tracking food, and I showed different options of foods.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, MyFitnessPal is going to be the easiest app to use. All right, we'll take 1 or 2 more questions.
Hi, Trent.
Hey, what's going on, Ash?
How are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. 2 questions for you. I was always told that as you get older, the metabolism slows down. Is there truth to that? Also, that you should only do workouts 6 to 8 weeks and then change it up. You had said in here about don't change up your workouts. I was told the body gets stale, so then that's why you hit plateaus. Any truth to that?
I love that. Great question. So first off, with the metabolism question, your metabolism doesn't significantly slow down until about the age of 60. And so what studies have shown is between the ages of 20 and 60, your metabolism is pretty much the same. But what changes the most between 20 and 60 is your lifestyle and activity levels. And so when you're 20 versus when you're 40 versus when you're 50, you just move less. You eat worse, you sleep worse, you're more stressed out. So those things impact your metabolism more than your age, specifically between the ages of 20 and 60. That's why all of those things, which is a good sign, because that means that I can actually influence my metabolism through a lot of different lifestyle factors, etc. In terms of switching your workouts, yes, that is true. 6 to 8 weeks is exactly what we do. Like in the program is we'll change workouts up every 6 to 8 weeks. But what a lot of people do, Ash, is they will change their workouts up weekly, which is not a good idea to do because you don't need to confuse your muscle. You just need to stay consistent for that 6 to 8 week period. So yeah, you hit the nail with the hammer right there.
Thank you.
Yep. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys for showing up and learning. I do not want you guys to take this information and just keep it in your head. Take action. Take messy action. And if you guys want to learn more about what it would look like to work closely one-on-one with me to take your body to the next level, make sure you fill out that application as soon as possible. This offer is only valid for today for the 25% off. Then I will reach out directly to see how I could best help and to give you guys more info. And then what I would love you guys to do as well is take a screenshot of this, take a picture of this, post it to your Instagram story, tag me at Trizzleman Fitness and write learning from the best. And I appreciate you guys. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Have the best Saturday ever, guys. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Much love.
Appreciate it.
Later, John. See you guys. Peace.